Going on? We are obviously here in New York City. Happy Memorial Day weekend to everyone that is celebrating here in the States. Thank you for all the soldiers. Obviously, this is going to be a longer live for multiple reasons. I was actually the last 6 months, I've really been contemplating the actual meaning to people's lives and the meaning that people give to their lives and the ability to create meaning within their lives. And it's not anything I can give you. You know, this is the thing. So, Dr. Jordan Peterson, I actually subscribe to his podcast. I'm clearly late on that boat. However, he has a bunch of lectures from last year. And one of them that I was listening to, he actually said it twice in two different lectures. He said that the genes, actually the proteins, essentially they replicate, and whatever expression those genes are given are then replicated down the line. So in other words, if you are bold, those genes are actually expressed to be a little bit more bold. Okay. So obviously, scientists obviously know what proteins are made of, or maybe neural connections within the brain. They obviously know, they know what it's made of. But what is the data? What is the actual DNA data within those genes, within the expressions of those genes? Dr. Joseph Dispenza has talked about this multiple times, is that your genes or your environment within your body actually express your genes down the line, okay? And this is essentially what Dr. Jordan Peterson is talking about, is that you literally do not know what your potential is because you don't know how far you could take your gene expression, your protein expression, all the way down the line. So in other words, if you are being bold, if you are going out and you're absorbing fear, you're absorbing challenges, you are being a little bit fearless going forward into life, and then that's being replicated through proteins, and then those proteins are now expressing yourself as a bolder, more creative, and obviously fearless person, whatever the case is. So your potential is actually unknowable because you don't know how far you could take your gene replication. And this is also why I think that most people come in of their own in their late 30s, early 40s, because that's decades of actually expressing and replicating their proteins, their genes, their neural connections, their habits, their systems, and everything else. If you really think about it, the most successful people have really, Jeff Bezos, obviously, yes, there's people before then like Zuckerberg and, the younger tech people, because that's more about coding. But if you're building out an actual infrastructure and company, those people get the most successful because of all the failures Ray Dalio, even Dr. Jordan Peterson, the guy came of its own in his late 50s? How old is he now? In his 60s. Listen, this is going to be a longer live. Memorial Day weekend, everyone is out having fun. And I've really been thinking about this because when I go on a subway, I don't listen to anything on my headphones, and I'm typically reading a book. And the last book that I was reading was Human Motivation, okay? And it's obviously Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? We've already talked about it on the channel. And by the way, I'm not a professional on this. However, understanding this is massive. This is life. I did all of the mistakes in the book in my 20s. I chased how I looked through very expensive suits. I chased girls by taking them out to very expensive restaurants. I chased the status by going to the most expensive clubs. I thought it was about money. I thought it was about all these things. Not most expensive, but I had a very expensive apartment, $4,200 a month. That's not needed. I threw parties that were $1,000 to $2,000. Okay? All the alcohol was free. All the food was free. Okay? The cops were called multiple times. They didn't renew my license or my lease. Okay? I went through those mistakes. I chased the outside. I thought meaning was on the outside. I thought my value was on the outside. Value can be seen on the outside through how many followers do I have? How many likes do I get? How many people actually leave comments or subscribe to my videos or have YouTube views? Listen, this channel has, I don't know, 4,000 people around there. This is the thing. Multiple times people said, "Oh, you should have more subscribers." I am playing the long game. I am formalizing my ideas. So when that thing happens, like it did to Dr. Jordan Peterson, he was ready. He started in I think he said 1978, 1979. So for 30 something years, almost 40 years, he was formulating his thoughts. He was ensuring that he was going to be able to articulate it. So going back to meaning, and why am I going to say this is the most important thing? Is because there are no challenges. Listen to his speech that he just gave at, I think it's Prager University or something. It came up on my YouTube. I've listened to it twice. It is the most emotional thinking that I've ever seen from him. And the reason being is that there is no appreciation on how far we've come. Okay? When people say, "My life is hard," they're thinking their life is hard mentally. But think about people's lives 100 years ago. I would be in war. You would probably be in war or know someone that died in war. Okay? You'd also, 200 years ago, probably be dying of starvation, disease, lack of food, lack of actual clean sanitary conditions to go to the bathroom or clean water. Okay? There is no gratitude. There is no reflection. When there is no reflection and there is no gratitude, I am currently going over my journal, okay? And I looked at last year, and I looked at what I actually wrote down. It is amazing how far you can come in a year. It's also amazing how far down you can go in a year. And I'm going to tell you right now is that they lack habits to make them successful. This is why, okay, so my mom recently, bless her heart, she said, she's religious. She said, God gave you a gift. And, I thought about that. And maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Or if you don't believe in God, maybe whatever, gift or not gift. And I thought about it. It's the exact quote that I heard from Tony Robbins many years ago. And he said, people that specialize publicly in whatever they're doing, a CFO, CEO, an artist, a musician, anyone, an actor, has practiced for decades. Lionel Messi put on Twitter that was then republished by someone else. He practiced for 18 years every single day. He says, I'm an 18-year overnight success. How many other successful people say that? So going back to that point or that question or whatever it was, is that this morning I didn't want to ride. I thought of every excuse not to ride. I came out, I had an amazing ride, I had an amazing run, and I'm sitting here journaling and I'm saying, my mom is saying, holy cow, someone gave you gifts. Someone on the outside gave you gifts, okay? Other people can say, oh, you're lucky. Or, holy cow, I can't believe this. I never heard of this guy, Charles Botensten. But how many years have I been putting out YouTube videos? How many books? I actually do know how many books. 600 on Amazon and about 200 on Audible and God knows how many on Kindle and then whatever else. 1,000 books I've gone through. Tens of thousands of dollars of training. What I've come down to is that humans need challenges. You need to put challenges in front of you. This is the reason. If there is no challenge, and this is, watch Dr. Jordan Peterson will explain it a lot better, but this is what I got from it. So in the 1970s, in the 1980s, they obviously had the 6 pillars of self-esteem, okay? But they also had another movement in San Francisco and, elsewhere of positivity. You're just good the way that you are. And now it's manifesting today as it doesn't matter what you're doing or who you are. Knocked over a candle. Doesn't matter if you're overweight, if you're poor, whatever, is that you're fine. You're fine. But this is the problem, is that person doesn't feel fine. That person doesn't like who they might be or who they are or who they're becoming. They don't like it. Maybe on the outside, and maybe who they actually tell on social media and to other people, they're like, I feel beautiful or I feel amazing. And this is not about gratitude or anything else. This is about deep, deep confidence, okay? On the outside, they're going to be telling a whole different story than what's going on the inside. I'm a big musician fan. I'm a big rock fan. You had Chris Cornell, okay? Pearl Jam took his life. Chester Bennington, Linkin Park, took his life. They had everything. They had fame, they had money, they had sold out shows, beautiful wives, adoration, they had everything. Chester Bennington, in one of his last interviews, talked about, you don't want to be in my head. You don't want to be in my head. How can we not talk about that? You're fine. No, Chester! Dude, you're fine the way you are, dude. You got everything. No. But Chester doesn't believe it. This is the thing. I can't tell anyone to be confident, okay? They actually have to believe it. So there's 2 ways to believe it. You can believe it by doing what Conor McGregor does or other champions. And why do some real estate agents on social media call themselves agents, but they don't do the verb hard work? What's verb? I didn't understand that. This is the thing, is that there's visualization and there's people that can actually tell themselves that they are confident and they're powerful and they're amazing. There's very few people that can do this. Donald Trump can do this. Brian Tracy can do this. Conor McGregor can do this. There's very few people. Mike Tyson, they've all talked about it, okay? Gary Vaynerchuk has literally just taken action, okay? Or actually, that he's in the other category, which is if you take action, you can then, my power is going down, you can then believe that you're able to do it. That's me. That's 99% of the other people. Today, I didn't want to go biking. I did 60 miles, 3,300 feet, 20, whatever mile. It was like 18 miles an hour average. Once you obviously have red lights and all this other jazz, because we have Memorial Day weekend here in New York City, so we have Fleet Week. So we had to shut down and walk for most of the path. And then I went into an amazing run. This is the thing, is that I feel comfortable that I can now do that. I now feel confident I can now do that. Okay? Thank you on the subscribers. There's 2 things I can tell you, is that if we do not add challenges and we are watching someone else live out their dream, you will literally look back. Today is almost June. The year is almost half over. Okay? The year is almost half over. Think about that. Challenges have to be put in our way. So essentially what happened was, in the 70s and the 80s, they all said, you're fine the way you are. No, just be confident. You're okay. Okay? But those people didn't feel confident. Okay? Nowadays, people act out. Okay? They act out their frustration. Their frustration is not with people on social media. Their jealousy is not with people on social media. It comes out that way. But if you really look deep down inside, and you really, really ask them, why did you say that comment? Or why did you dislike that video? Or why are you jealous of that person on social media? They'll say, well, I don't like that person, or I don't like Republicans, or I don't like Democrats, or I don't like people that are in shape, or I don't like the 1%, or I don't like people that are lazy. Doesn't matter. It could go both sides. It really does not matter. Okay? And then you start dialing it back, and then really what it comes down to is they're seeing something that clearly hit something inside. Okay? Because if it did hit something inside, say they didn't like Ray Dalio or someone that's wealthy or someone that's acting because of their success. Okay? There's something inside that they actually want the adoration of being famous. They actually want the followers or the money or the publicity or the recognition that comes along with it. Because if I told you, hey, listen, you're a famous horse rider, you wouldn't really care because I don't really care about horse riding. For me, I don't really care about Hollywood actors. So it doesn't really trigger anything inside. I don't really care. But I look at people in real estate or I look at triathletes and I say, holy shit, that guy's doing really well. Okay? And the problem is, in my own mind, I say, how do I get there? I'm not at jealousy. But other people that aren't even trying are jealous. Well, it's in their genes. Or as my mom said, God gave you gifts. No, I worked really hard to get to where I'm not or where I wanted to be. Okay? So I implore you to really sit down and start either journaling, you either start putting in a small challenge. But there's 3 ways, I've already talked about it. It's either duration of anything, a task, a feat, a workout, a habit, whatever. Doesn't matter. There's only 3 ways to measure it. Number 1 is duration. How long do you do that habit? In other words, how long is your bike ride? Is it 1 minute? Is it 60 minutes? The second one is consistency. Do you do it once a week, once every single day, twice a day, whatever the case is? And then number 3 is the intensity. Are you just pedaling? Are you just picking up the call and making phone calls? Or are you saying, hey, how's it going? It's Charles Botensten from BPI. How are you doing today? Great. Okay, I see your home is for sale. Or are you on the bike and you're just kind of just pedaling? Or are you saying, you know what? I see that person in the distance. I want to catch up to them. Duration, how long is it? Consistency, how often? And number 3, which is intensity. That's it. I would say, in conclusion, is that what I've learned this year is that I have to, people get meaning from contributing. It doesn't matter where it is. If they feel they're contributing something good, that meaning could be a street sweeper. That meaning could be a house cleaner. Okay? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It only matters to that person. If they feel they're making a positive contribution to society, they feel they're living to the meaning that they subscribe to their life. They feel like they actually have a calling or a meaning, okay? But this is the thing. Most people, their meaning, they feel they want a meaning. They feel like but this is the thing, is that they want a photo of them at the finish line. They want a photo at the closing table. They want a photo of their new beautiful house that they just bought. But they don't know that to get to the finish line, they've been working for 6 months every single day, dialing in their nutrition, not going out as much, not being hungover, working on their sleep, making sure that they stretch 20 minutes a night. By the way, I just explained myself, okay? And the problem with that is that there's a sacrifice behind that. And that sacrifice is something I'm trying to work on. And that is literally why I'm sitting down right now. I literally wrote down 5/25, which is today's date, of 2.0. So I'm saying it's Memorial Day weekend, last year, and then I start explaining that I read last year. And honestly, with that sacrifice is something that I want to change, okay? So I've taken that if I work hard, I'll be able to complete something. okay? And right now, I've talked about it multiple times, is that what's missing, not, I hate that, that's bad terminology, psycho-cybernetics, which I'm going to rewatch. I forgot who actually recommended it again. But this is the thing, is that there is one area of my life that I know, relationships, is that I'm looking at these beautiful girls. There are stunning girls out there. And this is the thing, is that as you rise up in life, you'll notice, and by the way, and obviously I'm talking from a male's perspective about females. So listen to this, is that as women make more money, they want to be on the same economic level, or I'm sorry, they want to date someone on the same economical level or above. Rarely will you see someone that is making 150,000 dating someone that is making 15,000. Obviously, there's exceptions if it's a rock star or someone that is maybe, a UFC fighter. Those are different, okay? Because that's the totally different, or if they're just pointless and aimless, they'll sleep with them because they're a drug addict or they're a bouncer or whatever. I'm talking about people that are legitimately making $15,000, $20,000 a year. A guy will date if he's making 150,000 because our mind is looking at something different. So listen to this. Let me hear this out because I've been really thinking about this because there's a lot of girlfriends that are single that are stunning, in shape, they got their shit together, but they can't find a guy. And this is the reason. So they want women, and this is not anything except evolution. Okay, evolutionarily, they want something on their level, They want men on their level, whether it's fitness, whether it's money, whatever their biggest value system is, their level or above. And this is the thing, is that as they rise up, obviously they're cutting out more and more men. Okay, so as this is going through my mind, I know that. So I'm rising above other men, and I'm looking at all these women that can't find dates, and I'm thinking, so that is legitimately the paradox. The paradox of non-choice, really, is that I know, based on just financially, I'm doing better than I did earlier this year. So in other words, I have an upward trajectory financially. I definitely want to improve that. Number two is health-wise, it's definitely I'm the most confident. My endurance is great. My cardio is great. I can lift things up that are heavy and put them down. Obviously, I'm not a bodybuilder, but that's the most confident level. My most confident is definitely health, then work, and relationship isn't even on there. It's not even on there. And that's the shitty part, is that I know, imagine this, you guys might be in the same situation, is that you're a person of value. And it's like you're walking around and you are saying, I'm a person of value, but I'm not getting that value of where I want it, which is in relationships. So that essentially is what I'm working on. So I have to go out. I'm not on dating apps. I'm not sliding into DMs. I am doing the regular approaching. However, I'm not consistent with it, okay? The intensity could be better. And by the intensity, I mean ask the girl or take the conversation. I shouldn't say intensity. The duration should be better. So you can take any habit and literally do this. So number one, consistency is the most important, okay? Michael Jordan has said it, is that you will fail, and the more you fail, the better it is. I need to get that into my head because I've made so many phone calls and I finally started getting business, okay? So I'm literally looking at habits the same way of maybe getting into a relationship, I don't know, but I am not taking the necessary steps, okay? So the whole video in wrap up is, number one is, where did all this come from? Silence. Stop listening to content all the time. Your brain needs to process this. Your brain needs to say, this is an area Otherwise, this is what happens, is you skip to a bad area in your life. You don't even go through the anxious, anxiety, and then you start falling off. You just literally say, your body says over time, holy shit, it's been 10 years, I have no spouse. It's been 10 years, my body's wrecked. My finances are wrecked. You skip all the steps that go to that area of change. Okay? You want to hit that change right here where I'm at right now with relationships, which is instead of going 10 years, I'm saying, fuck, I got to get this thing handled. Okay? So silence is number one. Number two is meaning comes from contribution. Confidence comes from seeing what you're doing is confidence comes from improvement. Okay? Improvement of an area that you care about. Okay? And I would say that motivation is crap. Okay? And you're seeing highlight reels of people's lives. Okay? That is the biggest concern, is that people are trying to live to expectations of not knowing that someone is sitting on Memorial Day weekend figuring out the relationships. No one's seen that unless this went live. But in 10 years, someone's going to say, dude, overnight success. Dude, where'd you come from? Dude, your channel's great. Why are you at 50,000 subscribers? You should be at 100,000 subscribers. Or how did you sell out that place? The monotonous bullshit that no one sees, the behind the scenes that nobody sees. They'll see the Instagram video, okay? To go to meaning, I can tell you right now, I really implore all of you to really figure this out not this year, but think about it, okay? Think about meaning. Look up the definition of meaning. Look up how short our life is. Think about how old the earth is, how recent we became Homo sapiens, how recent 2,000 years ago. That's nothing. That is nothing. You are a speck of dust spinning on a little pile of dirt in the middle of fucking nowhere for 100 years, and that's it. That's it. And then reflect, oh wow, I actually have it pretty good. So maybe I have all the hierarchy of needs of safety, of shelter, of food, of water, of everything handled. I need to handle this. And handling this is meaning. Handling this is gratitude. Handling this is in silence. Okay? So I implore you to look at meaning. So with that being said, what is my meaning? Okay? And I'll leave you here because I know it's late. What is my meaning? I know I came up with like a very crappy, arbitrary one last year, which was to make personal development cool, which, I guess that's like a deeper, not a deeper, but that's more of a shallow level. But after listening to Dr. Jordan Peterson, it is to build up my next gene expression, my next protein replication to be better than this last one. That could be said as, 1% better, could be said any other way. And the reason being is that I don't even want to recognize the person that's staring into this camera. And it's hard to say, David Goggins has said that he wants to meet his maker and not even recognize or even surprise him and say, I became all the things that I thought I would not become. Okay? My meaning in life is to take on challenges that I didn't even think I could take on. And I'm going to leave you with a quote that is right near my door. So this is the quote right near my door. It's going to be backwards, so I'll read it. If you want anything, you have to be willing to take chances and be willing to accept the bad things that could happen. I know that's probably backwards. if you want anything, you have to be willing to take chances and be willing to accept that bad things can happen. That's it. So what is that with approaching a girl? Approaching a girl. No, I'm not going to give you my number. Or no, you're not my type. Or no, I have a boyfriend. Those are the bad things. But I went to a manifestation workshop in New York City because of some girl on my floor. And in there, I wrote to approach. So she has like a little area where you write down a bunch of things. So I wrote down approach once a day. That's it. Just approach once a day. I know that consistency is everything. It is everything. It is everything. Okay? It is literally waking up and going to the gym every single day. Or it's literally going to work every single day. It's taking a shower every single day. It's brushing your teeth every single day. You don't even think about it. I want to get to that point. Training has got me to that point where I just say, this is what I need to do, and I do it. Okay. So my health is good. I would say that I need to work on room for improvement. That's the best way to say. Room for improvement is that I have to focus on what I want, not what I don't have, which I've been doing this whole video. But in the manifestation, I can't even say the fucking word. That's all she talked about. She said, focus on what you want. Imagine you already have it. So that's why I'm writing down, I need to get back to journaling, okay? I need to focus on what I want. And literally, once, obviously, everyone's talking about the RAS, reticular activating system. It's all these fun, fancy words, is that I know exactly what I want in the girl. So that's not the problem, okay? It's that the girl does not know that I exist. The girls that I want do not know that I exist. I passed a girl on my run. She was looking at me. She was stunning. 8.5 with workout clothes. So that means when she gets dolled up, she's probably like an 8.75. And she's looking at me. Came back to the apartment. Why didn't you talk to her? Why didn't you talk to her? So you know how I talked about that spectrum? Okay? That's the anger. That's the anxious. Okay? That's why silence is good, because I said, why didn't I talk to her? I don't want to get all the way to here and say, wow, 5 years have passed, I've taken no action. So right now, what is one area of your life you know you should change? And don't be soft on yourself. You know what, Charles? It's fine. You're perfect the way you are. You're good. You're a good guy. Don't worry about it. No. Don't worry about it. Age, grow old, and regret all the things that you've wanted to do that you didn't do. Don't worry about it. There's going to be a epidemic in 15 years of mental, just people are not prepared for the world to handle it the way that it is. You grow up and you think it's one way, and then you enter the real world and you say, oh, so you mean I have to get better to get promoted? Oh, so if I'm not good enough, I get fired. Oh, so if I don't go to the gym, or I don't drink, or I drink like I did when I was 20 something, okay? They skipped all the way to here when an emergency happened, when they needed to change, but the problem is they didn't go through that entire spectrum, okay? So really your life, and I know this is a lot longer, this is just the thoughts that have been going through my mind for quite some time, because I see it in the eyes of New Yorkers. And we're supposed to have the wealthiest people. We're supposed to be in the greatest city in the world. Okay, I deal with these people. I'm in real estate. I deal with more people than most people deal with. okay? Most people just deal with their colleagues and their friends. I deal with complete strangers regularly, daily, daily. Probably at minimum 10 new people in my life every single day that I've never met or never would have met ever at any time. Okay? Because I'm doing a showing, I'm doing a call, I'm pitching someone, whatever. Okay? A lot of strangers. I see in their eyes. Their eyes are saying they want something, but they don't know what it is. They're chasing something. They don't know what it is. What is it? I thought it was the weekend. I thought it was the marriage. I thought it was the kids. I thought it was the dog. I thought it was a bigger place. I thought it was more money. I thought. But the problem is, they're not actually, now my thing is really going down. The thing is, they're not actually handling the problem, which is between the two ears. The Chester Bennington, the Chris Cornell, the guys that had it all, Robin Williams, just go down the line. They had it all. And we're not even near that. There is going to be an epidemic. And the reason being is that the more you give people, it's not about giving people anything, okay? They have to earn it. That's where confidence comes from. Confidence comes from earning. They see that they're making progress. They see that they're losing weight, so they want to lose more weight. They see that they're paying off debt, so they start paying off more debt. It's not paying off their debt. It's not liposuction, okay? Because how many people have you heard that have lost all the weight, or that ugly girl that's now beautiful and they haven't gotten over that they've always been overweight or they've always been ugly? So they still have that mentality. They still have that high school mentality or that overweight mentality or that poor mentality. The guy that owns the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, on 60 Minutes, literally said his biggest fear, a billionaire who owns a team and the Dallas Cowboys and the real estate that's on it, that the stadium is built on it, owns all that shit. His biggest concern is going back to being poor. Because he said he literally was dirt poor. He grew up on a dirt road. Dirt poor. That's literally what it means. The floor of your house was dirt. Okay? So for all the people that say, well, I wish I had a bigger apartment, do you also wish you had a dirt floor? I don't think so. Because when it rains, it sucks. When you have tons of vermin all over the place. All right? That's confidence. Confidence comes from progress. Confidence comes from earning something. Okay? And there is you are literally earning it for 1 second of joy. When you get the closing check, when you cross the finish line. So really, confidence is coming from your discipline of training through a marathon or through triathlon. Your discipline comes when you take off your shirt at the beach and everyone says, oh my God, wow. Or you take a photo because you lifted weights or you did a long run or a long swim or something. That 1 second. But they don't actually see that all of the progress up until that second. Okay? So that 1 second of feeling good, don't chase that. Don't chase the closing check. Don't chase the photo with your beautiful new girlfriend. Chase the journey that you went through so many rejections trying to find that girlfriend, so many dates or so many bad times of girls saying, you're not my type. Really what it comes down to is your ability emotionally. It's not your ability in general. It's your ability emotionally to be able to handle bad things in life. Bad things. Emotionally, the people that are able to be emotionally stable in murky waters, in bad times, unstable times, when shit goes wrong, those are the leaders. Those are the ones that get paid the most. That's what people don't understand is, why? I can't believe this person gets paid so much money. Do you understand how hard it is to run a company? Do you understand how hard it is to be the top of your basketball game or football or soccer, it doesn't matter, or a musician, how hard it is, or a comedian, how hard it is, they get paid that way because of all of the progress they went through and all the confidence they had to build up to actually get to the point that you actually paid them $50 to see them in concert, or $50 to buy their whatever, that product, okay? And just going back to meaning, because meaning is going to give you more problems in your life. I am someone who studies it. I am someone who thinks about it all day long, and I still have issues with it. Imagine all the people that don't think about it at all. At all. All the people this weekend who go back on Tuesday to the job they hate. They hate that job. So the easy thing is to say, why don't you change your job? Why don't you look for a new job? Okay, they're not even at that point. Because if you really did not like your job, you would have been looking for a while. You would have been interviewing. Those are the people that take action. I have a lot of friends that say they don't like their job and they're interviewing. I'm looking for a new job. I've been saying that for 2 years. Haven't found one in 2 years? How long have you been looking? What's the intensity? What's the duration of looking? Meaning, my friends, is everything. And it is not found by buying it. It is not found on a beach, okay? That's not rest and relaxation. It's through challenges. It is through pushing yourself. And it's 10% beyond where you are. If a marathoner came to me and they said, Charles, you should be running a 6-minute pace for the marathon. It's way beyond my limit. But if they came to me and they said, Charles, run 10% more next month, or 10% faster next month, that's meaning, because that's pushing myself. Meaning is not discovered. Joseph Campbell has it right. You have to go to the belly of the beast. You have to go to the forest. And by the way, I'm not there yet. So I'm not saying, those are the answers. Okay, I'm not one that has actually done, I am doing it. Okay, and there is no finish line, as David Goggins talks about. But at one time, you'll see me. Just remember, this conversation is that it wasn't overnight, and it wasn't easy, and it wasn't because God gave me gifts. Okay, and it's not that sentence, because we all have gifts. It's the sentence that I was actually built this way, or I was created this way instead of built it. Okay, it's really what it comes down to. I built this. Okay, and I want you to build yours by looking at something that's challenging. That is the only way forward. That's the only way to get confidence. That is the only way to get confidence. That's it. That's it. It's not being given anything. It's not through a present. It's not through a promotion, unless that promotion was actually earned. It is through doing something you don't want to do, knowing that you're moving to something that you do want. Mine is public speaking. It's to build out my company and to be a triathlete and have an amazing relationship. Those are the 4 things. So really the 4 things. That's it I want in life. Those are the 4 things I am pushing for. Public speaker, build out a company, triathlete, relationship with my wife in the future. That's it. Okay? And anything that comes along with it, fantastic. I don't give a shit about anything, or I don't care about my apartment. I hope I have an apartment that we can all stay in. I don't care about my clothing. I never go shopping. If you want to go to money really quick, I know there's 4 people on here. I don't like looking at the numbers, because sometimes it's like 1, and then you feel like, oh, okay, great. But there's a great book out there. So I will teach you how to be rich, and it's by something Sadie. I have his older book somewhere on that bookshelf behind me. I really want to get into The Cosmos, by the way, by Brian Greene. These 3 books right here. These guys. Elegant Universe, Fabric. I just want to know a little bit more behind it. So, and then these are the other ones. So if you guys want any ideas, just go back. Alter Ego, it's all right. Instant Influence is probably the best book on selling that I've ever read. I'm going to reread that again. That was by far the best book that I've ever read on selling. By far. Not even close. Not even close. 10X Rule is like cement, is like a speck of dust compared to that. All right. I don't know what I was about to say. It's probably going to be something good. But anyway, if you guys have any questions. Yeah, with the money. I'll leave it on that. So with the money is that pick the things that you care about. Okay? So I don't care about clothes. I don't really care about my apartment size. Yeah, it's small. It's probably 200, 300, 400 square feet. I don't know. It's in a great area. That's all I care about. So in other words, pick the things you care about. Okay? I don't care about eating at nice restaurants. I don't care about vacationing. That's not where I'm going to spend my money. I'm going to just spend it on work. I'm going to spend it on triathlon gear and races. That's it. I don't care about anything else. So have the areas you care about and don't care about anything else. You know, people care about the newest computer. My computer is 3 years old. You know, my monitors are probably like $20, $25, $26. You know, there are things that you should care about, and there's things that you should not care about. So if you don't care about that thing, and you have a friend that says you should care about that thing, you should care about that thing. But you don't care about it, don't care about it. Don't care about it. Don't buy it. I don't have a TV. I don't have Netflix. I have no idea what's going on with Game of Thrones. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm probably going to see the new movie with Leonardo DiCaprio because I'm obsessed with him. But that was the first movie since I've seen his last movie, which was Wolf of Wall Street. What was that, 3 years ago? Actually, no, I saw The Reverend also. I don't even think I saw that in theaters. I didn't even see that in theaters. I don't care about movies. I don't care about Hollywood. I don't care about news. I don't care about politics. I don't care about social media. I don't. This is the problem, is that everyone is stretched so thin. And then when they're not good in that one area, they're like, ah. So when someone says, dude, did you see Game of Thrones? Dude, did you watch this movie? No, I didn't. No idea what you're talking about. What? Really? It's a great one. You know, games? No. Infinite War, Endgame, I don't even know what that is. That's the thing, is that focus on the things that matter and cut everything else out. If you are not getting into politics, I know people are saying, don't you want to be informed? No, I don't. I could care less. Why? Because I am doing nothing. I don't donate to anyone. I don't even give it. I live in New York City. It's always going to go to the Democratic president. So it's like, why even fucking vote? You know, and I know people are going to get pissed off, whatever. I don't really care. Well, you don't care about the Oscars or music or anything else? No, I don't. I don't care about that. And the reason being is that is not my lane. It is someone else's lane. You can't have 270 million people or 300 million people, however, are in the United States, caring about everything, because that means then nothing gets advanced. Elon Musk, is he not on Twitter anymore? I don't think he's on Twitter anymore. He dropped Instagram. He dropped Twitter. Why? How do you stay socially connected, mainstream culture? How do I stay socially connected? You should see the conversations that I have. They make no sense. It is just, he's still on Twitter? Okay. I don't know. I saw when I was at the gym, there's a headline that said, Elon missing on Instagram or something like that. Maybe he's not tweeting as much. I have no idea. But that was the headline. So did I look into it? No. But the thing is, do you understand? Imagine if he grew up and there was no Twitter, no Instagram, nothing. He would probably be halfway to Mars already. But all of that bullshit, the governmental bullshit holding him back. Or Jeff Bezos, he knows his lane. He doesn't talk. Elon Musk, He doesn't talk about anything political. He doesn't talk about news that much. Maybe he does. I have no idea. He's got his lane. And we need to be focused on that. All right? So, meaning, just got, I don't know what it is for me. Okay? But I know what it is not. I think that's actually what happened this year. That is the biggest success. Now that I say that, that is the biggest success, is I noticed what is not my meaning, what I just explained. For me, it's reading more and taking action in the things that I care about. And I just explained the 4 that I care about. And the 1, which is relationships, I am psycho-cybernetics. I have room for improvement. Instead of saying I suck at it or I'm not doing it, I have room for improvement. All right? So those are the 4 areas. This conversation reminds me of Warren Buffett giving advice about writing the, 100%, Dane. I actually just heard that from someone. 3 things. Warren Buffett said that he makes 1 good decision every 2 years. And they say, well, what about everything else? And he goes, yeah, I probably lose out on 4 or 5 other good decisions, but they don't really pay off because I don't make those decisions. So he makes 1 good decision, but that decision is massive. And go watch this documentary. And unfortunately, with all these very successful people, Ray Dalio, the guy, Phil Knight, or not Phil Knight, the guy the founder of Nike, I was going to say Ray Knight, but that was the Mets baseball player. So Ray Dalio, Knight, and Warren Buffett, unfortunately, do not have good relationships with their kids, or just they work too hard. And I don't want that. I read that in their biographies. I saw it on, Ray Dalio, Knight, one of his drowned. The other one, Ray Dalio, had a kid that was on drugs. Warren Buffett, I don't know if they have a good relationship. You kind of don't want that. That's not good meaning right there. Yes, you became very successful, but on that advice to Warren Buffett, okay? Warren Buffett, 1 every 2 years. So think about the things that you are doing on a daily basis. Just be conscious of it. That's it. Just be conscious of it. And then when I became conscious of it, I said, wow, Instagram is doing nothing. You also noticed that I haven't really been doing that many how can you maintain relationships if you don't have any interest in what people are usually interested in? This is the thing, is that I used to bring up and do things based on what was popular. And now I bring up what I care about. That's a big difference. I was bringing up things that I may not care about, but are popular. Say, I don't know, something that happened with the Kardashians or Game of Thrones or something like that, or a movie that just came out. The thing is that I now talk about, so what does that mean? I now talk about things I'm interested in, okay? So what does that mean? That means I self-select my friends. I self-select the conversations I'm going to be in. And I'll tell you why. Is that I was having very surface level conversations. And then I just disdain surface level conversations. Surface level conversations is the weather. Oh my God, did you see that the Mets just won? Did you see that this movie just came out and they grossed $100 million? And I don't like that. I don't like that because that's very surface level. I want to go really deep into a conversation, even in small little spurts, to show my personality. People know my personality really quick now for 2 reasons. Number 1 is I talk about things that I'm interested in. If I'm not interested, I'll ask you questions about it, but I don't talk about it. Number 2 is I am way more present. I'm way more present because I am not focusing on everything, okay? I'm not caring about everything, okay? I'm caring about the things that I care about. And then I self-select those people into my life. And then I hang out with those people because we have mutual interests, okay? That's why top athletes hang out with top athletes, and they don't really hang out with the best authors. Authors hang out with authors, you know? Musicians hang out with musicians. Business people hang out with business people, you know? Sometimes, yes, there's obviously cross correlation and collaboration between a business guy and an athlete or something like that. But it's you're speaking the same language. Except the problem with me is that I was speaking everybody's language because I wanted to be liked by everybody. I wanted to get in tune with everybody. I wanted to know about you. But I noticed I wasn't actually happy because I wasn't talking about things I was interested in. I'll question, I'll ask. But honestly, socialization, which I've come to really be good at, and it's taken me a while, is really about it's really about being one step ahead of the other person. Where the other person is going based on their tone. I can almost to a T, probably 80% of the time, know exactly how to finish someone's sentence. And sometimes I do. And that's not bragging. That's just understanding I know where this is going. And then I know potentially if I'm going to talk, this is what I'm going to say. But most people aren't that way. They don't value the information. They value the interaction. Like dogs. Dogs want to interact with you, but they don't care about information. I didn't get that, you know. But most people aren't that way. They don't value the information. They value the interaction. Okay. That's not for me. Well, listen, you can value the interaction. I actually do value the interaction. And if the information gets there, then I'll go there as well. I know immediately if I'm going to be having a good conversation. And then I didn't see the second one. YouTube doesn't allow me to go. Oh no, it does. Here we go. You don't like shallow conversations because you equate conversations with information. If someone is transferring to you, okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, so it's really the content or the conversation. So that's the best way to explain it. Is yeah, I would say I know immediately if I'm going to have a good interaction based on the person's body language, based on their energy, and if they have bad energy, I'm not interacting with them at all. Okay, I don't want that in my life. I don't. I don't. It's bad weather out. Yeah, I replied, but I didn't actually absorb it. You know, we could talk about absolutely nothing, but it's a fun, interesting conversation. Okay, it doesn't have to go deep, but as long as you show me and I show you a personality that's not surface level, you show emotion, you get excited, you actually show something other than the bland back and forth. Go out tonight or tomorrow and just witness and understand the way that you're interacting with people. Just do that. Just do that. When you actually start understanding that most of the things you're talking about are senseless and aimless and are not enjoyable, that's when I said, oh, wow. So after all, did you upgrade your social circle? Social circle is definitely getting up there. So it's one by one. And the reason being is I started upgrading my life. And this was the reason. So I went to this manifesting workshop, which I showed you before, by that girl, Maddie. Great girl. And in there, so she asked the room, it was about 30 women and me. There's a dude behind me, but he didn't really participate. And he didn't really believe in it. He was like, this is fucking woo-woo. I was like, yeah, I know, but whatever. I like it. And if that's your opinion, that's awesome. You know, I'm not going to change your opinion. And he was an older guy, so, you know, he's probably not changing anytime soon his opinion about manifesting and things like that. So Maddie, who's the person running it, asked the question. She said, most everything, all of our beliefs, all of our whatever, comes from childhood. Very basic. I could have ran this class better, by the way. Hopefully she doesn't watch this video. But in there, she said, obviously, that everything comes from childhood and everything. I'm asking because I did exactly what you're doing right now for a few years and ended up sad and lonely. Yeah, maybe that's you. That's not that's not the interactions. That's not the interactions. I haven't interacted with many people. Okay? Like my interactions are very quick. Okay? Okay, so I understand. So that is you because it was me, or it is me right now. That's why I wrote Love 2.0. So that's a good point. So you are correct. You ended up sad and lonely. Just, I am not sad. I don't know if I'm lonely. I do want a female partner. I like women. They're fantastic. They're beautiful people, and essentially they would add to my life. So that's why I want more female interactions. I become more masculine around feminine women, and I don't like masculine women at all. I don't like masculine voices on women at all, or masculine traits, or the way they walk if they're masculine. But a very feminine woman, I'll really. So you're right. Yeah, I am not sad. Lonely is a very big word, so I'm not there. You can have more serious talks with women than men, I find. Yeah, yeah, depends. I'm thinking, I actually self-selected for better guy friends as well, where I can be vulnerable on, say, challenges I'm going through in life, and they're going through either similar challenges or they're non-judgmental in the way that they reply. I think that was my self-selecting. Most guys aren't willing to talk about deeper stuff and emotions. Yeah, I agree with that. I also self-selected out of those guys. That was a conscious decision to not talk with those guys anymore. They partied